Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we have somebody who I would want to call a product management veteran. Mr. Sourav Poddar is kind enough to take out his time for me and to share his learnings in product management pre and post ISB, that too on a Sunday. So without wasting any time, I'll just give a short intro about him and get started with some focused questions that I have about his profile and his career trajectory post ISB. So I saw sort of that you had been working with in product management even before ISB, but you were in the education management space. You worked with Jamboree for 2.5 years, then you worked with Harappa for 2 years, and now post ISB you have been working with Microsoft for the last 3 years broadly. So my first question is, how did product management as a role look like in education management, and how does it look like in Microsoft?
Yeah, hey Sarthak, thanks for having me here, and yeah, great talking to you. And yeah, so I think back I started in the role of product management almost like 10 years back. It sounds a little weird to say, like almost a decade back. But at that point, product management wasn't as popular as it is today. It was
Yeah,
Project management roles were very popular. People would be doing this PMP certifications, and
true,
that was like the in thing.
true,
Uh, Product management at that point was kind of, and at least that's what I kind of felt it was more of an entrepreneurial role
true.
that uh, founders were looking for folks who could lead like something end to end,
Hmm.
lead a product end to end,
Hmm.
and kind of be this person with high ownership, kind of a generalist kind of a profile. Uh,
Yeah.
so that's what it looked like. So back then, I was looking at being an entrepreneur in the edtech space. Things didn't fly as I wanted it to be.
Hmm.
So that's when this kind of opportunity
Hmm.
came towards me, and I joined Jamboree. And yeah, I think it was pretty much like, hey, we're launching this whole online prep platform, and
Hmm.
we want someone to lead it like a startup, right?
Hmm.
So would you be interested? So
Hmm.
that was probably the start of things. Things have changed much more. It's a much more defined space today. Uh,
Hmm.
there are roles defined, clear kind of boundaries about what a product manager is expected to do,
Hmm.
at least in a big tech company like Microsoft, right?
Hmm.
Um, and mostly it's like, yeah, I think in Microsoft, it's about your one third of a triad, which is product design and engineering.
Sure.
And as a PM,
Hmm.
you're fundamentally the custodian or basically the owner of what the customer problem is. So defining why we're doing something, and basically kind of voicing the customer problem,
Hmm.
and fundamentally like the why and the what, somewhat like what
Yeah.
is the problem. Like problem could be very broad, and trying to figure out the right scope given the cost and everything. So I think the why and what is primarily where PM deals with.
Sure.
The how kind of becomes then like a joint collaborative effort across product design and engineering.
Got it. And can you explain more about your current role via a project that you have recently completed in MS?
Yeah, so in Microsoft, basically the team I work with, we are kind of responsible for making non-Microsoft content work in Copilot.
Okay.
The Copilot is like the LLM product, the AI slash Gen AI product for Microsoft.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think it's a very interesting space because this is state of the art, right? So
Hmm.
you're basically working at Gen AI capabilities, RAG, etc., right? And fundamentally, what we're doing is that, like as customers, as organizations, you want all of your content, not just your OneDrive, SharePoint, Microsoft content to work, but also you might be using Slack, SharePoint,
Hmm.
Slack, ServiceNow, Salesforce, etc.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
want those kind of workflows to also work in Copilot. So
Very true.
that's what our team does. That's what our team enables fundamentally.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Got it. And so when you say non-MS content, uh, let's say if I have to build a workflow on top of Salesforce, uh, your team would be responsible for that for an enterprise customer.
Yes.
Got it. Very interesting. And a lot of people have this, I don't know if it's a misconception or not, but a lot of people have this belief that you have to be from a hardcore coding or engineering background to get into MS. Now, why am I asking this question to you? Because you are technically an engineer, but you completed your bachelor's in biotechnology. So I'm sure you did not have a lot of coding experience. So was it difficult for you to crack a product management role before or after ISB?
Yeah. So I think every company has a different expectation of a product manager, right?
Hmm.
And like in my previous companies, you were more expected to have like a generalist kind of a profile where I mean fundamentally great execution skills, great kind of problem solving skills,
Hmm.
and like general awareness of business, how the business is run,
Hmm.
right? You are responsible for, let's say, P&L and stuff like that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, Fundamentally, like how Microsoft looks at a PM is that you should have a good understanding of like a high level understanding of how the stack works, how
Hmm.
engineering works, what are some of the core design principles on which products operate. So
Hmm.
uh, I I will not say that you don't have to have an understanding. You can be completely uh, ignorant of the tech,
Yeah.
but it's not that you need to know coding. I think
Hmm.
it becomes sort of like binary in a lot of conversations that either you need to be able to code in Python or you kind of don't know anything about coding. I think the answer is somewhere in the middle, where you need to understand how like let's say APIs work, front end interacts with back end,
Yeah.
all of those things like high level design you need to understand.
Got it. So you don't need to necessarily possess coding as a skill, but you need to understand what your technical dev team is doing.
Correct. Yeah.
Got it. And tell me something, and this might be a controversial question. If I ask you, would you, if you didn't go to ISB, would you have been able to get into MS without a B school degree?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a interesting one. I mean, looking back, ISB was very instrumental in
Hmm.
getting me like a role in Microsoft.
Yeah.
So I will never deny the fact that it helped me a lot. Uh,
Hmm.
it gave me like a platform. I think also the way you prep for like PM roles, like,
Hmm.
and again, it comes to the interviewing skills. I think you were also like you wanted to talk about, right? So I
Hmm.
like at least before ISB, I kind of did not realize the depth of prep that you need for some of these roles.
Yeah.
Coming into ISB, getting in touch, let's say, with um, the BTC club and
Hmm.
basically folks who actually do these PM preps, getting in touch with alums who've done it. I kind
Yeah.
of realized that this is like serious work. Like you
Yeah.
just go and wing it.
Hmm.
Uh, so I think that awareness, that kind of frameworks in terms of okay, this is what is needed, uh,
Hmm.
helped me a lot, which came
Yeah.
because of ISB and because the kind of environment you have there.
Yeah.
Um, and so, having said that, if you are aware of what it needs, if you can kind of create that environment outside of a B school, you
Hmm.
necessarily don't need a B school degree.
Got
It's
it.
not a prerequisite.
Got it.
It definitely helps. It's
Hmm.
not a prerequisite.
Got it. And when you came to ISB, you already had in mind that you want to get into PM, or were you oscillating between PM and consulting like most of the folks?
Oh no, I was pretty sure. I want to be a PM, right?
Got it.
That's what I've done since day one of my career. I
Yeah.
love what I do. Uh, Thankfully, gratefully, very grateful about that. That I love building products, being involved in that process.
Yeah.
I think two, three reasons why I wanted to do an MBA.
Hmm.
One, I felt I've been working for 8 years,
Yeah.
so I wanted to take a step back and kind of reflect and kind of plan my next few years
Yeah.
of professional career.
Yeah.
The other thing is that I did feel that, and I think this is generally like the question, why MBA, right?
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
think in India, uh, though I would say I have had a liberal arts education, so
Yeah.
I have had like a holistic kind of a curriculum which looks at not just engineering but different kind of fields of study. But fundamentally, for a lot of people, MBA is the first holistic curriculum that they kind of
Yeah.
deal with.
Very
You
true.
don't just study engineering or tech, you also study finance, economics,
Hmm.
uh, you study a little bit of organization behavior, all of those things, right?
Hmm.
So, so I think that is one big reason that you have a holistic understanding of how businesses work, of
Hmm.
how people kind of function, not just businesses, people, and like you get a very holistic opportunity to kind of develop your skills all around.
Hmm.
Um, and the third aspect is obviously the kind of opportunities that you get just because you're at ISB, and there is no discounting that. Like
Hmm.
companies that you can have these conversations with
Hmm.
wouldn't be possible. Like, for example, I could interview with seven, eight companies, right? Which was a
Hmm.
great privilege because of ISB.
Hmm.
Um, so I think, yeah, these are the two, three major reasons
Yeah.
uh, why ISB was instrumental.
Yeah. And since you alluded to Young India Fellowship that you did at Ashoka University, and there is this famous line by Mr. Steve Jobs that a good product is the marriage of design and uh, tech or art and technology or art and science. And after looking at your educational credentials, I could see IIT Kanpur, okay, this guy knows tech. Then I could see Ashoka University, this guy knows arts as well. So did YIF help you in any way, anywhere to become a better PM?
100%, 100%. I think, and coincidentally, you quote Steve Jobs. I was while I was applying to Young India Fellowship, I was actually reading his biography by Walter Isaacson,
Yeah.
and I kind of read the similar lines and the fact that he was very gung ho about liberal arts. So,
Yeah.
one of my major motivators to apply to YF.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, so I think fundamentally. You know building products is about understanding people, understanding how people use products.
Yeah.
Just having one outlook or just having like a very narrow outlook, which is like, let's say, an engineering outlook of like, hey, this is the solution to a problem.
Sure.
I i i don't think that kind of is very helpful uh,
Hmm.
when you kind of are able to look at a problem from multiple dimensions, right?
Hmm.
I think it just helps you not just think in a wider kind of a kind of bring in like wider view, but also kind of help wider perspectives come in. Like from when you're working with a designer, when you're working with, let's say, an engineer, when you're talking to a customer, right? You're just
Hmm.
not thinking about that, hey, there is one way to look at this. There are multiple ways to look at it. Let's try to bring them all together and see that like what kind of work works best.
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah.
And one last question for you, which is how did you prepare for Microsoft interviews? And typically, what is asked? Is it case interviews? Is it behavioral interviews, or is it something else?
So it's a mix. So I think I had four rounds. Let's talk about the interview first, and then I'll talk about the prep.
Sure.
So I think there were four rounds. The first one was sort of like a group discussion, not a group discussion, but like you were given a case study
Okay.
and you had like 30 minutes to kind of present, 30 minutes to kind of work on it and 5 minutes to present. And it was done with like I think 50 people simultaneously. I don't
Wow.
know the same, but it was just like a very quick way of looking at your approach to problem solving.
Got it.
Then there was a product design round,
Hmm.
which was very interesting. how you kind of again look at problem solving. Is there a structured way of problem approaching problem solving that you kind of apply? The second one was actually a mix of product design and sort of like high level technical design kind of an interview.
Oh, got it.
Um, which was again very interesting. Probably the toughest that I had.
Hmm.
Um, and the third one was basically a mix of again case study plus like behavioral.
Hmm. Got it.
Um, so yeah, these were like the yeah 4 rounds that kind of happened for me.
Got it.
Um, I think in terms of prep,
Hmm.
like, and I was just reflecting on this. I think interviewing is an art. I think one distinction is that it's true that it doesn't define how good you are as a PM.
Yeah.
It is something which you need to kind of develop, and
Hmm.
if you're good at interviewing, it will help you in definitely it will help you in communicating better.
True.
Even if you feel that hey I'm great at communication, I'm pretty sure that you might not be great at interviewing,
Hmm.
but if you're good at interviewing, you'll definitely be a better communicator than what you are today.
Got it. Got it. And can you give me an example of a problem statement that you had in the case study round or the technical design round?
Yeah, sure. So I think I would never forget the kind of questions that were asked. So I think the first question was, I think let's say you are a product manager at like a live stream product, and you can pick any kind of video streaming platform, and
Hmm.
you have to kind of design a mechanism to basically take care of let's say obscene content, or like
Oh.
kind of figure out how to design protection guidelines or like protection
Oh.
mechanisms against obscene or uh,
Hmm.
obscene content. How would you kind of go about it? I think broadly that was like the
Hmm.
problem statement.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
In the second round, it was how will you design a search experience? How would you improve the WhatsApp search experience?
Oh.
So which was pretty open-ended, but yeah, it was very
Which
interesting.
is when you go to your WhatsApp chats and search about anything, be it a
Yeah,
person or a contact.
yeah,
Very
yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Got it.
Percent contact files. Yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
And technical question was how can you check whether a word is a palindrome or not? Like write a kind of a pseudocode like
Oh,
logic to check if a word is a palindrome or not.
very
Very
interesting.
interesting, yeah.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Saurav, for taking the time. I'm pretty sure this will be immensely helpful for all PM aspirants who are looking to get into product management with the likes of Amazon or Microsoft or Google after ISB. So thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you, Sarthak. I've seen your videos; they're very helpful. I do watch them, and yeah, I hope this is helpful to your viewers. And thank you so much for
Thank
having me here.